Be strong.
DJ Tony Duff.
She gon' take care of her bitch, she truckin'. She a woman with a rig, she truckin'. She gon' take care of her kids, she truckin'. Yeah, she a boss, she do it big, she truckin'. She truckin'. She a boss, she do it big, she truckin'. She a woman with a rig, she truckin'. She truckin'.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the D.
What up, you guys? It's your girl, DollFace Trucker. I am back with another video on a different platform because guess what? Your girl is the host of Trafficked the Trucking podcast on the S.H.E Trucking Network. Well, CTR Media Network through S.H.E Trucking. You know, I've always been like the biggest supporter of S.H.E Trucking. And of course, I'm the brand ambassador of S.H.E Trucking. So it's only right that I come onto here and do a podcast. And this is going to be the first of many podcasts that I'm going to be doing. And the title of it is Trafficked to Trucking, which goes with the book that I wrote. You guys already know about it. But if you don't know, let me explain who I am. So my name is JoJon. People call me DollFace Trucker. I am a former truck driver, and now I am at home starting my own trucking business. My goal is to help survivors of human trafficking get out of the cycle of violence and into the trucking industry or into transportation, something. So let's see. They can get into trucking, they can get into dispatching, they can get into brokering, but I'm focusing on dispatching right now. I'm a former survivor. I was in a abusive relationship. I was trafficked, and now I'm in the trucking industry, and the trucking industry saved my life. So you guys just saw the book pop up on the screen. That is the book. It's available on Amazon. It's only like $5 and some change. Traffic the Trucking, but I'm not selling it to make money off of it. I'm selling this book to just bring awareness. I want everybody to know that you guys can make a difference and help. So if you want to know more about any of that information, if you want to know more about how you can get involved, you can go to my website, jojonglobal.com. And if you want to know more about dispatching or whatever the case may be, anything, y'all can, you know where to contact me. You see my information. And we're going to get this started. So first, I want to say what up to everybody, all of my old dogs on Facebook and YouTube. Somebody said the intro got me like dancing. You like that intro? I made it myself. And I just like, you know what? That's one thing I love to do. I love to do graphic design and stuff. So we got somebody says, what up? Good evening. We got R who says, hello there. R's an old dog. Tina Ramsey is in here. What's going on, Tina? We got Codename. What up, Codename? He is an old dog too on my YouTube channel. We got Benjamin. What up, Benjamin? He is an old dog as well. I got my old dogs in here. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank you, Tina. So I want to say this to you guys. I need y'all to listen up really closely, okay? Listen carefully. Thank you, truckers, because today marks Truck Driver Appreciation Week. And I want to say thank you to all the truckers because you don't get enough of it. We don't get enough of it. We don't get enough appreciation. So if you see a trucker, if you're not a trucker, if you see a trucker this week, thank them. Thank them for doing everything that they can to be a part of S.H.E Trucking, excuse me, a part of the industry and, being essential workers and keeping this world and this environment moving, because we wouldn't be anything without you guys. If everything that you're wearing came in on the truck, everything that you ate came in on the truck, what you're watching this on came in on the truck, we wouldn't be anything without a truck driver. So thank a truck driver. I see Sue Adams is in here. Hey, Sue. You guys, Sue is awesome. She's gonna be coming up on a future podcast. She is awesome. You guys want to like for real? You want to be on here when she's on here, and you guys will know. You're gonna get all the information beforehand. Um, so since you guys, so my old dogs, they know who I am, and they know, my story and everything. But a lot of you guys who are just tuning in don't know my story. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how I came to be in the trucking industry. Uh, and this is like a prequel to my book, my memoir that's going to be called, I don't have a name title for it, but it's going to be a memoir of my life story and, being in trafficking and domestic violence and stuff like that. So let's see, where do I begin? I'll begin with my family. Um, my mom was a prostitute, and she was also a madam. And I grew up in trap houses. I grew up around a lot of what you call Johns, um, in and out the house. Like, I don't even think we even had our own spot, our own house. I think that we were living with a lot of different men or men. She had like sugar daddies, I think, because I was young, so I didn't really understand what was happening. But we were living, I think they would get like her apartments and stuff because they were never in her name, they were in his name. So I remember, like, as young as I possibly, like, a weird story. And look, y'all, my old dogs know I keep it 100. I'm real and honest and blunt, and I don't sugarcoat anything. So if you got kids in the room, today's episode, like at least the first 30 minutes, tell the kids to go walk the dog or something, because it's gonna be graphic a little bit, okay? Um, I remember, like, the earliest memory I have is I remember in the back of my mom's car, we were driving somewhere in Las Vegas, and she had me. I had a stomach ache, and I was I had diarrhea, and I remember getting out the car with my mom, walking to a corner. It was on Twain Boulevard. I remember Twain Boulevard because we used to live in Twain Estates apartments. And got out. She got me out of the car, and we walked to this corner. And I had to use the bathroom so bad, and I used the bathroom all over myself. And I had on sweats, the sweats that has like the little coupling at the bottom. So when I had the incident, the runny incident, it coupled at the bottom of my ankles. And I remember having to get back in the car, and it was cold, and I had to sit in it. I don't remember anything after that. She was buying drugs because she was a drug addict, and that was the earliest memory I had of that situation. I've had situations where I was in trap houses sleeping on the floor, and roaches would crawl in my mouth while I was asleep. There were no beds or anything. It was just they were all in there doing drugs and stuff. And then my mom would have men in and out the house, and she would always say, you got to take care of your family by any means necessary. I assumed that's what she meant was prostituting. And I remember I was like, I don't ever want to be like my mom. I don't ever want to be like her. This can't be like how life is, right? And then my brother, he's 16 years older than me. Growing up with him, he was a pimp. And let me tell you, my I had an interesting life, to say the least. He used to take me along with him to strip clubs and stuff to collect the money because he wasn't allowed to go into the strip clubs by himself because he was a guy. So I would go in there and I would collect the money from his girls that he was pimping on. And that's a whole like chapter in a book that I can't even discuss on here because it's a lot. So growing up in that environment around pimps and hoes and johns and strippers and drug dealers and drug addicts, that was my life growing up. And then my mom was so strung out on drugs, I ended up having to go live with my dad. And well, before that happened, before I went to go live with my dad, I got molested. I got molested by every man my mom brought around. One guy in particular, he molested me for like about 5 years. And I ended up moving with my dad. Well, the second guy, there's a second guy who molested me. He was my friend. and my mom sold me to him for drugs. I remember being on the couch, scared to move because the first guy was molesting me, so I was scared to even like fight against uh I was scared to fight against the guy, like to stand up for myself. And I'm like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old around this time. And so when I turned about 15, probably 14, the second guy that molested me, my mom sold me for drugs, he was my friend. I used to ditch school to hang out with him. And, he was doing drugs with my mom, and that happened. And I remember telling my brother what happened. And he was like, "Well, what did you do? You probably seduced him." And I remember thinking, I can't trust my mom. I can't trust my brother, the one who's supposed to protect me. When something happens, you call your big brother to go protect you, right? That wasn't what happened. So I realized I had to get out that environment. I didn't know what to do. So I ended up moving with my dad, and I was in California with him, and I got bullied like they used to call me, y'all can look this up because I'm not gonna look it up. Today it's funny, but back then I used to cry every single day. They used to call me Earthworm Jim because I had big old eyes. And I used to be a cheerleader, and they used to throw rocks at me while I was cheering. I got bullied, and I would cry every single day. So I was like, I hate it here. I want to go back home. At least in Vegas, I had friends, right? So I went back to Vegas, and like 6 months later, I got pregnant. I got pregnant 6 months later. And my dad stopped talking to me for a good 6 months. I got pregnant by a man who was 6 years older than me. I was 15 at the time. 16. I got pregnant at 16, and he was like 22 or 23, something like that. And I was into a lot of stuff back then. Like I was just trying. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, and I I didn't drop out of school. I knew that I had to stay in school, but because I transferred from Las Vegas to, well, from California to Las Vegas, this is high school at the time, all of my credits didn't transfer over, so I had to go to adult education. I went to adult education, and I tried to go back to high school after that, but they told me that I couldn't run track, which I was doing, or cheerlead because I had already enrolled in adult education. So I'm like, dang, if I can't run track, if I can't do cheerleading, I can't do ROTC, I don't even want to go to school no more. Like, forget it. So I dropped out, and I met a guy who pretended like he was my boyfriend, and he was a whole entire pimp. And he kidnapped me, took me to California, and that's how the trafficking started. My kids stayed with a friend. She was watching them. And I was living, I can't even put together my thought process. Thank you, Facebook user. You were strong and blessed. I appreciate that. What gave you the courage to keep going? That was my normal. You know how y'all wake up every morning, whatever routine y'all have in the morning when y'all wake up? Somebody might think that that's weird. They're like, what? You get up in the morning and have breakfast. Some people don't do that, right? But that's your normal. So that was my normal. People who don't know, um, they they're like who are not used to it. They're like, how did you get through that? How? This that was my normal, right? I grew up in it, literally. My mom, I'm a product of prostitution. So I literally grew up in it. But that started the whole trafficking thing. And just oh, well, I got time. I got a little bit of time. Um, how are you using your platform to help women in trucking? That's a very good question, and that's where I'm segueing to. So that's a good question. So fast forward, I started college. I was dealing with stuff with my children, and I was in an abusive relationship. So now I got out of the trafficking, but I got back into it because the boyfriend that I had after the fact, he was abusive, but then he ended up being a pimp or trying to pimp and put me back in it. He, had a stronghold on me, and he was really abusive. So I had to sneak around and learn how to get my CDL. I went to workforce development, workforce solutions to help me pay for my CDL They didn't pay for the CDL portion, but they paid for my permit, and they paid for everything that I needed to get started. And I went to training and started driving. And initially, and I had to split my children up. I had to split them up. My viewers, my old dogs, will, they know they've been here since the beginning when I first started my YouTube. But I had to split them up for multiple reasons. One is I just couldn't afford where I was living. Two, I had to leave because I didn't want my abuser, my trafficker, to find me. And I got into trucking. And initially, I wanted to just drive my truck off a cliff. I felt like a terrible mom. I felt like nobody loved me. I felt like all I was here for was just to be abused and used and beat on. And I did not want to be on this earth anymore. And so I was like, I'm gonna get my CDL so I can just drive this truck off a cliff. And I met somebody in trucking that, the stars aligned. There was what is it called? A divine intervention that led me to come across S.H.E more with S.H.E trucking. And she took me under her wing, and the rest is history. So through her organization, I see how she helps minority women in trucking, and she helps people. And she's just I call her the encyclopedia of trucking, because if you need any questions, she's going to know the answer to it. She is a wealth of information. And I was like, dang, I want to be like her when I grow up, right? I want to help people. That's what I love doing. I love helping people. Well, how? How do I help somebody? What do I do? Well, I already knew I wanted to go to law school because that's why I was going to college. And I already know when I was in jail, I got arrested a couple of times when I was being trafficked. And I remember the girls in there. One girl was like, "You need to get in and get out. And if you better not be in here at 30 years old talking about you a hoe. You're gonna have something. You gotta have something to show for it. You can't go through all of this hurt and trauma." She was talking to all the girls. We called her OG. She was talking to all the girls that were arrested because they did a sting operation that night. And she was like, "You can't get into this industry and not have nothing to show for it." And at the time, I was making like $10,000 a night, and I had nothing to show for it. And I was like, dang. And I would hear all the other girls talk about how they're innocent and they wasn't even doing nothing. They would just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was thinking, when I finish school, I'm gonna be a lawyer and I'm gonna represent these women. That was the initial thing that I wanted to do, to be an attorney, to represent, you know, hoes. I'm gonna be the representative of the hoes. That's what I said back then. And then I got into trucking and all that. I graduated college and I got into trucking, and I see this organization. I'm like, she's helping minority women in trucking. I want to help. I know well, the legal system. I know the trafficking and domestic violence sector of stuff. I do really well with helping and mentoring people, and I am the brand ambassador for S.H.E Trucking. How can I make all of this mesh together? And initially, I was like, okay, I can get women out of the trucking, out of their abusive relationships and trafficking into the truck. Because the reason why women don't leave is because they're dependent on their abuser, right? They're dependent on him. Because when you make this money, this tens of thousands of dollars, you give it all to him. You have to. You have to. If you don't, you're going to get your ass beat. So he gives out money for you to get your nails on or hair or whatever, pay for daycare, whatever the case may be. But you got to give him all of your money, and they'll hold your birth certificate, your driver's license. They'll hold everything from you so you can't leave them. And then they brainwash you. Sometimes they drug you up, or they just beat you to death. You got Romeo pimps, you got gorilla pimps. The Romeo pimp was my boyfriend. That's the one who used Romeo and, jazzes you all up and makes you fall in love with him, and then bam. The gorilla pimps, they don't care. They'll beat your ass just right then and there, like, I don't care. Like, if you look at me, you're getting your ass beat. It's a whole, like, I can talk about this all day. You can't, if you're walking down the street in Vegas and a pimp walks past a girl, she has to look down. She can't look at him. She has to look down at the curve. If she looks at him, that's called getting out of pocket. He could rob her, or he could beat her ass and rob her. And now he's hers. She's his hoe, and she has to give him all the money, and that's called choosing up. So I divorced, but so I was like, what can I do? Like, how can I help? So the trucking, being inside a physical, actual truck, will give this woman freedom. She is away from her abuser. She don't have to worry about rent because she has a roof over her head because it's the truck. She doesn't have to worry about bills because all she really needs is a phone, and she can get that from like the Obama phone. If you have food stamps or Medicaid, you can get a free phone. And then she's making money weekly, so she can start saving, she can start healing and getting herself together. And most trucking companies, have like psychiatry services and counseling and stuff. They have the Chaplains of America and things like that. So they have the resources to get her stuff together, right? And so I was like, so that will work. But then I started thinking, well, what if he has her social security card or her birth certificate, or what if she got all these charges and she can't really get a job? Then what? And I was like, well, what's the lowest barrier to entry? And I thought about doing pilot car, and I got my pilot car certification, but it costs a lot to get started. So then I was like, well, maybe dispatching. I'm proud of you using your story to help women, empower women in trucking. You can still be a lawyer, the trucking lawyer. Yeah, yep, exactly. So I was like, well, what do I do? So what's the lowest barrier to entry? And it's dispatching. Dispatching is the easiest way a woman can get into the transportation industry. And you don't have to take any courses. You don't have to take any classes. You can literally dispatch tomorrow. But if you would probably want to have like a coach or a mentor or something to teach you, especially learning the trucking industry. So I was like, okay, that's what I can do. That's how I can help women. I can help women get into dispatching. I can help them get into transportation, logistics, and trucking. And so they can do it from a hotel room. They can do it from a shelter. I stayed in so many shelters. They have Wi-Fi in there. They have computers. You can go to the library. You can go to the school campus, like a college campus. There's so many places a woman, a survivor, can escape and go and dispatch a truck. I remember one guy saying that he had just his cell phone and he was dispatching in between driving. So that's how I'm helping women in trucking, or women in general, survivors, is by helping them get into the transportation industry. Because had it not been for the transportation industry, I literally do not know where I would be right now. I'm supposed to be a statistic. I'm supposed to be dead, on drugs. I'm supposed to still be on the streets. And I thank God. Like, I want to tear up. I don't want to cry on here. Y'all know my old dogs know I don't cry on YouTube. But man, I'm not supposed to be here. And so I left Vegas and I got my kids back together. Now they're all here with me. I never lost custody of them or anything. Like I said, I had to, separate them because I couldn't take care of them. And so I had to delegate people to take care of them. And I moved to Houston, and it's from there, it just blew up. And so now.
Electricity is cheaper than diesel fuel, and charging overnight means you never have to stop at the diesel stations again. Maintenance costs are lower because EVs don't require oil changes or replacements of high-cost combustion engine parts. You'll also be eligible for tax incentives and grants funded by programs like HVIP.
DJ Tony.
For all my ladies out there trucking towards their goals. Let's go. She gon' take care of her bitch. She trucking. She a woman with a rig. She trucking. She gon' take care of her kids. She trucking. Yeah. She a boss. She do it big. She trucking. She trucking. She a boss. She do it big. She trucking. trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. Off the hate it, never.
Y'all, I love that song. Y'all in the back here just jamming. I love She Trucking song. So yeah, everything blew up, and here I am trying to do my part to help survivors of human trafficking and domestic violence get out of the cycle of violence and into the transportation industry. Okay, I want to do this though, because it's Truck Driver Appreciation Week, and I'm so appreciative of everybody. I want to recognize some people who we need in this industry and who have helped out, you know, drivers, and they did a big deal when it came to Truck Driver Appreciation Week. So I'm gonna go through some of the people who have been really instrumental in putting together these boxes for y'all. If you didn't sign up for these boxes, you're lost, but you should
Truck
have.
driver appreciation is coming up. Truck drivers are literally the nation's backbone. If it was not for you guys, then we wouldn't be a country. Thank you guys so much. And in support of drivers across America, I'm super excited to be partnering with S.H.E more at S.H.E Trucking. We've got a bunch of little goodies that I've got over here that I'm going to be sending out to her today, so we can start putting together those boxes to just send some appreciation to all of the drivers that are out there working really hard, long hours.
Oh, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. Everything you brought me through. By your blood I've been made new. I just wanna say thank you. I just wanna say thank you. It's your breath inside.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Ashley. I just want to say happy Driver Appreciation Week. I appreciate every last one of you that's a part of the S.H.E Trucking community. Big shout out to S.H.E. Without her, we wouldn't have the S.H.E Trucking community. I see every last one of you out there trying to get it. Listen, continue pushing. You got this.
Hello to all of the truck drivers all across the world. Shauna here. I just want to give a huge shout out to each and every last one of you ladies and men all across the world. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you have done. But I want to give a special shout out to the ladies in the S.H.E Trucking community. I mean, without you, we wouldn't be a community at all. We appreciate each and every last one of you. Thank you for all that you do. Keep pushing, keep striving, never give up. And those of you that's starting out or that's looking to get into the industry, listen, push, keep going. We all have been through what you've been through and what you're going through and what you're going to have to go through. It's going to be a great reward at the end, so never give up. Keep pushing. And as always, thank you for your support in the S.H.E Trucking community. Thank you again for all that you do. We appreciate you all. Love you. Peace and blessings to you all.
Oh, that's so sweet. You know what? S.H.E is so thoughtful. You know, you guys wouldn't have none of this if it wasn't for S.H.E and S.H.E Trucking, you guys. Like, she puts her all into this. And she puts her all into this so much to the point where people want to support her. And the people who have supported her, I want to recognize those people. Okay. So we have Jenny Ruiz. She's with Transfix. We have Shanna Sellers, who you just saw in the video. She have Faith in Fashion. That's beautiful. We have Sue Adams, Legal Shield. That's what I told you guys want to stick around for. We have Larry Blackman, Health Insurance Helper. We have Naria Rice Philippot. She's with Trans Energy CDL Academy. You guys look her up too. Awesome woman. Latravius Whetstone. He's with, okay, I don't want to mess his name up. Card-based Cell Food. That sounds great. We have Alexandria with USI Insurance Service. She's going to be coming up soon too. We have Best Pass as a supporter. We have Joyce Brenny Trucking Company. Dr. Tina J. Ramsey with CTR Media Network. She is an awesome woman as well, and a very big helper of She Trucking. We have Nate Johnson with True TMS. We have Bonnie Motley Ralph. She's a truck driver. Thank you for your service, Bonnie. We have Evan Shelley with Truck Parking Club. Evan is awesome. I haven't met him, but I've heard a lot of good things about Evan, and he should be coming up with the interview as well soon. We have Hummer Trucking Company, the ATA, and the FMCSA. These are all supporters of She Trucking, and they all have done something to help and bring appreciation to the truck drivers. So we want to appreciate them and give them a good old round of applause. Okay, so I want to know, what are you guys appreciative of? Put in the comments. I want to know what. Recognize a trucker. Recognize a trucker. If you know a trucker, put them in the comments and tell me what you appreciate about them, because it's needed, right? We got to do this all week. I want everybody to recognize a driver, and I want to know, what do you appreciate about the driver that you know? And I'll go first. I'm going to say Sheree. I'm going to say Sheree because she was a former driver. And if you hear her story, if you ever heard her story, she went through some stuff, right? And she recognized there was a need for women. She just wanted women to have clothes to wear, like cute shirts and stuff. And that's how She Trucking got started. And I want to appreciate her and recognize her, because this whole platform wouldn't even be here. Do you guys know, if you go on her website and become a member, she has classes and courses for how to get your CDL. She wrote a book on it. She has classes and courses on government contracting. Um, it's so much that I can't even remember off the top of my head because it's so much information. But like I said, she is the encyclopedia of trucking. So if you are not a member of She Trucking, I suggest you go to shetrucking.com and subscribe and become a member. Go to her website, go to the YouTube or her Facebook, and like, subscribe, share. You go on the She Trucking podcast, which you see through Facebook or Instagram, or I'm sorry, YouTube. Go anywhere, but find yourself on that website and become a member. It is worth every single penny. It is an investment. If you want to know anything about trucking, you're going to get it from She Trucking. I promise you. And I'm not going to put my name behind something that, my old dogs know I don't put my name behind things that I don't believe in. And I've been the brand ambassador for She Trucking for a while now. So that lets you know. So if you guys want to know anything else, you go to shetrucking.com. Okay, y'all. So Tina said, I had no idea dispatching could be a way out of the industry, or way out listening to me. And a lot of people didn't know that. They didn't know that. A lot of people don't understand, like, what a survivor needs. If you think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they just need the basic needs, right? They need safety and security. They need love. They need clothing. They need food. They need shelter. Why are people working? Because they need these things. So what's the easiest way to to get those things? If you are a dispatching service, if you are a dispatching coach or trainer, or you have dispatching courses, you can provide a simple need to a survivor just by extending an arm out and saying, hey, come over here, I'll teach you. Like, I'm going to be going to some shelters or in some women's centers to talk to survivors. And I want to tell them that there are dispatching courses out here. I want to coach them and lead them down the path of where they can find good coaching or good classes and courses. I want them to network with people in the transportation industry so they can get out of that cycle of violence. So if you're in this industry, if you're in dispatching, contact me. You see the website, jojonglobal.com. You see my contact information up there, I think. Contact me, because this is a matter of life and death. Another comment we have from Tina. You are here for a purpose. Oh, what Tina says, I appreciate. There you go. You are here for a purpose. You're here to be a breakthrough for the women who have no voice and no way out. You're providing a way out. Powerful. I appreciate that, Tina. Thank you so much. And she also says, thank you for your service. Happy Driver Appreciation Week. We also have Artworks Photography. Now, he says, you've been through so much, but you made it through. You're a true warrior. Hey, look at those guns. I'm a warrior. Ah, we can do it. Y'all screenshot that. We can do it. Trey Lincoln, he says, what up, DollFace? What up, Trey? He's one of my old dogs, too. Tina says, I appreciate all the truckers that sacrifice their time away from their families to help us grow and thrive. Of course, Sheree Moore and the entire She Trucking team. Whoop whoop! Give a round of applause for She Trucking team and all the truck drivers. Yes, we truly appreciate you. Renegade Billy 2007. Hey, what's up? Hope you're well. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. Tina says, I appreciate all the 30,000 women in the She Trucking community. Did y'all know that? 30,000 women? Imagine if all 30,000 women got together and did something to help a survivor or help other women in the trucking industry. Imagine. Do you know how powerful that would be? If every member, not even 30,000 women, but if every member in She Trucking group became a member and did something to help, because by becoming a member, you're helping. You're helping a truck driver. You're helping someone in need. You're helping. And can you imagine if you all guys just came together? Do you understand what powerful impact you would make? We got Trey Lincoln who says, you going to Freight Fest? I want to go to Freight Fest, but I can't afford it right now because I literally quit my job. I quit trucking and got off the truck to get into dispatching to help survivors of human trafficking and domestic violence. So I'm not making an income right now. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can sponsor a ticket for me because I definitely want to go and network. 24 years trucking, still going strong. Yes, Codename. 24 years, still going strong. You know what? Codename was one of the first drivers when I was working for Variant. He was one of the first people under my squad when I was working for Variant. He is an awesome guy. Thank you for your service, Codename. Thank you for being an awesome truck driver for 24 years going strong. We always have our hard times and stuff. Like it's challenging out there on the road. And I would say this to any dispatcher any potential future dispatcher, any dispatcher who's just getting in, you need to get with a truck driver. Understand what they're going through. Understand what it takes to be out on this road because you need that piece to effectively dispatch. I believe I can't say I believe it. That is what's needed. Okay, y'all. So now I don't like doing this, but I want to say this too. To help push this mission of helping survivors, I need to be at Freight Fest. Okay. And I quit my job, selflessly left trucking so I can really just get into dispatching. So hold on one second. So I was thinking if all y'all donated something so I can get to Freight Fest, and y'all know my old dogs know. I'm pointing this way because they're over here on the screen, but they know that I don't ask for anything, right? But this is not me asking. This is me asking for survivors. Send a donation to DollFace Trucker Cash App, and let's get into Freight Fest so I can pass these books out. Okay? And let's get some people to help survivors of human trafficking and domestic violence because it's literally a matter of life and death. Did y'all know the numbers? I don't know. I gotta pull it up on the website. I'm not controlling the back end, so I don't have the I can get that to you, R, after we get off of here. You are a true testament, never to give up. Thank you. I forgot what I was gonna say. I just want to get people involved. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Did you know? I think it was 130 people are being trafficked every hour worldwide. 130 people. Think about that. When is the last time like you were at home and there's a house down the street that you always see cars coming in and out of? That could be a house that's somebody being trafficked in that house. Or have you ever walked down the street or drove down the street, you saw a woman walking down that street, and you're like, ugh, look at her with her ass out, judging her. She's probably being trafficked against her will. And most of them are children. So if you donate for me to get to Freight Fest so we can get this out and get some people involved, I'll give you a shout out. Y'all know I'll give you a shout out. I did this with my viewers on YouTube when they donated for my book to get published. I did, little postcards for them and stuff. You'll get a shout out on the She Trucking podcast, on the Traffic the Trucking podcast, and I would definitely personally send you a note saying thank you, because again, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for survivors. And also, I'm working on a planner. So this is a lifestyle planner. It has everything that you could think of in it, like everything. Like it's a digital planner. If you need to get your life together, you definitely want to have this planner. It has book tracking, the books that you've read, meal tracking, meal prep. It has financial tracking. It has chore planning. It has financial planning. It has the irregular planner. It has so much stuff in it. It's like a $50 value that I will be giving to somebody, a few people, maybe all of y'all, if I can get to Freight Fest. So I'm not just asking to just receive something and not give anything in return. I really believe that this is something that needs to happen. We need to get these survivors out the streets. I call them survivors because they're still alive, but some people are not so lucky. And if you read my book, you'll see that, because I've met too many people that lost their lives to trafficking, and it's sad. It's you just don't want to be in that type of. You got a moral duty to do so. You got a moral duty to help. You know what I'm saying? Sue Adams. Oh no, wait, Tina Ramsey. She says, "Wow, that's a lot. I had no idea." It is. I had no idea. I actually had to look it up today. Like, oh my gosh, because I got slack today for offering dispatching coaching. And how is coaching different than a course? Well, I'm not offering a course, but I know successful people, when they don't know something really well, you know what they do? They outsource to people who do. They outsource to the people who know. So my job is just to mentor and coach a survivor on the pathway to being a dispatcher. So that means if I meet somebody at Freight Fest who has a dispatching course or company, or has a trucking company or CDL school, I'm going to refer that survivor to that person. That's how I would coach them. And I was like, I asked so many people to help me with this, and they didn't want, it fell on deaf ears. Like, I'm literally trying to send business to you so you can make money. And not only them paying you, it would literally be the government paying you, because I'm trying to create a program where the court system will, you know how you go to drug court or DUI school and you got to take the little course online or whatever, you got to pay for that. But then sometimes Workforce Solutions pay for certain things. That's what I'm trying to get. For a CDL school or for a dispatching course to be paid for by the government or by the state, to get survivors in the door and teach them dispatching. Teach survivors dispatching. And so I got a lot of slack for that, because I don't know enough. You don't know what I don't know, because you don't know me, but that's neither here nor there. And I was like, it's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. And that's why I put that number out there. 130 people, mostly children, are being trafficked every hour. It's bigger than me. I don't have time to wait. I don't have time to wait for you to give me an answer if you're going to help or not. If you're not going to help, then guess what? I'm going to help. I'm going to do it. Sue Adams says, unbelievable. We need to bring more awareness to education and trafficking. Thank you for taking this on. You're very welcome, Sue. If you're not going to say, hey, yes, bring them here and I'll teach them, then I have to do it. I have to. So how are you gonna get mad at me? Instead of getting mad at me, you could have been the one that I refer people to. But hey, you want to talk mess on YouTube or Facebook. I appreciate what you do. You're an amazing person. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Renegade Billy. So I address everybody by their first name. I don't say their whole name. So I'm gonna call him Renegade because that's the first thing I can remember. He also says, "Where's Freight Fest at?" Freight Fest is here in Houston, Texas. The tickets, I don't know. See, I have my computer over here. I don't want to look away from the screen, but let me see if I can find the ticket price to Freight Fest. I said Freight Fest, Pets Fest. There we go. Freight Fest tickets, FF23. Let's look and see how much they cost. They're $400. It's worth it though. You know the people who are gonna be in the building. It's worth it. And so that's the reason why I created my book. I created my book because it's like a book slash. Let me show you. I'm gonna go back here. It's gonna look like I'm in the back of my thing. I can't do it because my thing is on my. Well, I have my book. Yeah, so it's about 80 pages, and it's kind of like it gives a little bit about my story. It tells you guys about the problem of human trafficking and domestic violence, and then it talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it puts you in the middle. I tell you, I talk about, what I said earlier. Imagine that house is down the street that you see cars running in and out of, or that woman walking down the street. She might be in need, and we don't have time. If you see it, say something. Always they say see something, say something. That don't just mean for terrorism. If you see somebody being hurt, you have a moral duty to help. And so the ending of my book brings into a call to action. So if you want to purchase this book and read more and learn, you can go to Amazon.com and look for the book From Trafficked to Trucking by DollFace. And it's only like $5.50 or something like that. And I mean, you know what? I got an idea for you guys. Let's get into Freight Fest. Sorry about the light. I don't have blinds in here, so the sun is doing this golden hour thing. Let's get into Freight Fest. And I have copies to the first 10 people. I will give you a digital copy of my book. Human trafficking is getting worse. Thank you for speaking on this awareness. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So the first 10 people who can get me in the Freight Fest donating to DollFace Trucker, Cash App, # DollFace Trucker, the first 10 that I see on there, you're going to get a free copy of the book and a shout out. I already know R got it because, R been holding it down for the longest time. He is the biggest supporter of DollFace Trucker. But if you want to buy it and purchase it, you can also go on Amazon and find it there. And what else do I have to say? So I have JoJon Global, which is my website. This is my brand. And my old dogs know that I am transitioning from DollFace Trucker, because I'm not going to always be a truck driver, to more corporate legal things. And so that's why we have JoJon global.com. And the reason why I put global, I want to explain this to y'all because this is a global epidemic. I would say epidemic, right? This is a global problem. It's not just here in America. It's everywhere. And so when you see that logo, you're going to see a logo that stands for strength, safety, and hope. I want women and survivors and everybody to know JoJon Global is going to advocate for you. JoJon is going to advocate for you. So that's where I came up with the name with JoJon Global. Of course, JoJon, because that's my name, but I just want to help y'all. I just really, really want to help. And eventually what I'm going to do throughout this podcast is have guests on. That's my logo. That's the what's it called? The not the template, but the transparent version of the logo. Eventually I want to bring on guests that I'll be interviewing on this podcast from Traffic the Trucking. And it's not going to always be about trafficking, and it's not going to always be about trucking. You're not going to always laugh, and you're not going to always cry. You're going to experience a little bit of everything. Thank you, R. You'll experience a little bit of everything. You're going to experience some laughter, some cries. Some things are going to make you mad. Some things are going to make you happy. But thank you, Sue. I designed the logo myself. I do all of my own designs. I'm actually the virtual assistant for S.H.E Trucking, and I'm helping her with designing some stuff too. I love designing stuff. So yes, thank you. Thank you for that. But the podcast is going to be, I'm going to stream it here and on my YouTube channel, and eventually I'll have my own podcast, but I think it's better situated here because this is going to reach out to truck drivers, and I really want to stay within the trucking industry because that's what I'm trying to help survivors get into. And tell me what you want to see. Put it in the comments. What topics do you want me to talk about? What interviews do you want me to do? Who do you want to hear from? What do you want to hear about? You want to hear from some survivors? Like I know a survivor who's currently a truck driver. Do you want to hear from people who help survivors? Do you want to hear from other truck drivers? Do you want to hear from lawyers? Who do you want to talk to? What do you want to talk about? On my channel, on my YouTube channel, I just go in there and just talk. I don't normally have a topic in mind, but I just go in there and talk. But I want to know, what do y'all want to know? Do y'all currently have any questions right now? Do y'all have anything you want to talk about? We're almost over. This podcast is almost over. If you don't have any questions, but something comes up later, you put it in the comments and we'll get to them on the next podcast. I will be back on here in October 1st. And October 1st kicks off Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I'm definitely going to be touching on those subjects, but I want to know what y'all want to talk about. Do y'all want to learn about survivors' resources to help survivors? That's awesome. What up, James? You know what? That'll probably kick off. We'll probably talk about that on October 1st. I want y'all to stick around. I need you guys to stick around and really, because I want to educate, I want to help, I want to make you laugh, I want to make you cry. I want to get serious. I want to get real. And it's gonna get real. I'm being nice today. But baby, let me tell you something. This is a nasty, nasty, nasty industry when it comes to human trafficking and domestic violence. And I put those two together because they kind of like coexist, right? Pimps are beating up women all day long. Or you could be not even in human trafficking, but you're in an abusive relationship. God, it's so terrible. And then you get children involved. And it's just, it needs to be said. Something needs to be done about it. You know what else needs to be done? We need to help children. That's a whole nother realm and a whole nother thing that I can't even go into, but that just breaks my heart. So that's why I'm saying we need to help, and I need you guys to help. So if you want to help, I need you to go on SHETrucking.com and like, follow, share, subscribe this podcast. Go on SHETrucking.com, go on SHETrucking website. Facebook page. Go on my website, JoJonGlobal.com. You can contact me up here. That is my email address and phone number, cell phone, and office. If you're a survivor that needs assistance, please reach out to me. If you want to help, donate, and help get women started in the trucking industry, donate to DollFace Trucker. Eventually, I will be a nonprofit. JoJon Global will be. So then there'll be a tax write-off for you. And let's get started, man. If you're really about helping, because you're here, you're watching it, so that means you want to help. I don't believe that you'll be even affiliated with S.H.E Trucking if you don't want to help. And my old dogs on my channel, they definitely want to help. Truckers Against Trafficking. If you see something, call. Exactly. Call. And you can also call me too, because I take phone calls. I just had a call the other day, and she needed help, and I jumped up out the bed to help. And I was on the National Truckers magazine, June's issue. I'm gonna have that for you next podcast. And she said she read my magazine article, and she reached out to me for help. And I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like, just if you see something, you guys have to help. You have to step in. Don't turn the other cheek. I was at a stoplight, and my abuser was abusing me, and nobody did anything. They heard me screaming. They saw the car shaking. They saw us in there fighting, and nobody did anything. Another time, I was in, we was driving down the strip. Series of videos on transition steps to get CDL. Okay. But we were driving down the strip, and he was about to hit me, and I jumped out the car and ran into a casino, and then I got arrested because I wasn't even allowed to be in that casino. I got 86 from that casino. And that arrest record is still on my record now, and that's the reason why it's hard for me to get certain jobs. I wouldn't even, but I think God works in mysterious ways, because I wouldn't even be here had I not had that record. I'd probably be an attorney right now, and I wouldn't be here talking to you, and I wouldn't be helping survivors. So I think everything works in a certain way. But definitely, it was hard. Like, just look how easy it is for somebody to go down that rabbit hole of legal issues, because that was a trespassing charge. That's a Class B misdemeanor. I can't get a job in a courthouse. I can't get a job as a police officer or nothing like that. So that's why it's important to help y'all. So we're about to end this podcast. I know I like to ramble. Y'all know, my viewers know I love to talk. I have no problem doing that. But I want y'all to support DollFace Trucker Cash App, JoJonGlobal.com, SheTrucking.com. Like, share, subscribe this podcast. Get the book. The first 10 people who donate to the book will get the who donate to Cash App for me to go to Freight Fest. I will give you a copy of that book signed. I don't know if I can sign it because it's digital, but it'll definitely be from me. And again, put in the comments what y'all want to see and hear, and we're gonna get it done. Get it done. Okay, so right before I go, I got like 2 minutes left. We have webinars coming up on S.H.E Trucking. That's why I'm saying, if you're a member, you want to go to SheTrucking.com and sign up for these webinars, baby. Okay, we got April Taylor. She's going to talk about depression, anxiety, grief, and mental health. We got Alexandria Robertson. She's talking about commercial truck insurance. Sue Adams with Legal Shield. She got a host of stuff available for y'all. We have Abby Souffrant, I believe her name is. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Government contracting. Everybody's always asking for government contracting, y'all. And of course, we got our fabulous Sheree Moore coming in to do a sisters chat. And you guys definitely want to be in there for that. So y'all stay tuned and definitely become a member. You don't want to miss this. She got all the resources. Everything is at your fingertips. You just got to go get it. Okay? I love y'all so much. Justice is green, unfortunately. Right. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, T Slim. And I can't wait to see y'all October 1st. DollFace out. Deuces.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the D.
Hey everybody, it's Cindy Tunstall. I just wanted to hop on here and say happy Driver Appreciation Week. So grateful for the work that you do. You know, there's so many things that truckers do behind the scenes that nobody is aware of, nobody recognizes. We're doing so much, you know, even just doing our pre-trip and our post-trip every day, making sure our equipment is in good shape and looking out for four-wheelers even though they're not looking out for us, and just doing so much to keep our roadways safe and working so hard, long hours to provide for our families, and just doing so much to keep this country rolling. So I just want to hop on here and say I appreciate you. So if you haven't heard it today, you're doing a great job out there. We're grateful you're a part of our community. Y'all take care, be safe out there, and by all means, enjoy the journey.
Hello everybody. I am Dr. T&J Ramsey, and I wanted to personally come on today to say happy Drivers Appreciation Week. You ladies, you earned it. I want to thank you so much for all of your sacrifice, all of the investment that you had to make, spending time away from your families and your loved ones in order to make sure that we have all the essential products that we need in order to have a growing, thriving economy, and also helping us to have the products that we need in order to have thriving businesses. I also want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to S.H.E Moore, the founder of S.H.E Trucking, because you, my dear, took it a step further and created a community so that we can be empowered and educated and have resources and be able to inspire one another to grow. Because even though we know that this is a male-dominated industry, by having 30,000 women come together as one sound, one voice, S.H.E, you help make it a whole lot easier. So thank you for all your time and sacrifice. And ladies, I want you to know that this week is for you. So enjoy it. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, hello, truckers. This is Chaplain Mona with Trucking Angels for Christ, also the chaplain for S.H.E Trucking. I just want to take a few minutes to just tell you how much we appreciate you. We're going into Truckers Appreciation Month, and we're excited to be able to celebrate you for all the hard work that you do, for the sacrifices that you make, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, without you, this world would stop. Without you, that people would not have the things that they have. And so we just want to thank you. We encourage you to keep pressing on, keep doing the great job, and I will continue to pray for you each and every day, and I hope that you have a wonderful time. And I'm just saying, we celebrating you this month for Truckers Appreciation Month, but know that you're celebrated every day of the year. You have a blessed day, and we hope to see you on the highway. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
DJ Tony.
For all my ladies out there trucking towards they goals. Let's go. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. Often hated, never duplicated. Nah. We underestimate it cause it's male dominated, but we getting payment like it's money motivated. Our clientele rated while they dragging, we gon' slay it. By the hour, we them girls and we got power. Yeah. Haters everywhere like no taxes, they be sour. Dropping lows, no road and we be runners. You can never do it like us and that's a bummer. They got my back, so I got my girls with me. Yeah, I can't be like you cause the shoes just won't fit me. All these moves and we make it all happen. We just show and prove while the rest of y'all rapping. Clocking in and making ends, run them racks up. Focus like a lens, we don't focus on the trends, nah. Like instructors pulling in, told them back up. Focus and pretend we don't notice who they is, nah. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking.
I don't like this. There are cars everywhere.
Bobby, you about to get on the interstate,
oh
so slow the truck down.
Oh, God.
Slow the truck down. Slow, for real, slow the truck down. Stay over here on the left, okay? Take your high side. Go up here, okay?
I cannot believe I'm getting on the interstate.
Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Stay on this side, accelerate. Go faster. Go faster. Faster, Bobby, faster.
Crap.
Look at all this traffic.
There are cars everywhere.
And now we're going to take it to the highest gear that you've ever been in. We're going to take it to the 10th gear.
Now?
Now. There we go.
10th gear, baby!
Listen, if anybody's interested in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook. It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43, there is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book it's less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book on Amazon.